Parker, thanks for coming on. Just kidding. I want to know the secrets of wealth.
The secrets of wealth, man. I don't know if you're talking to the right guy.
Yeah. No, but you help people build wealth. I mean, that's the whole thing. And I bought 2 houses from you. Yeah. And it's great. And they're both great investments.
Yeah.
One of them, I had the same tenant from when I moved out 10 months after buying the place.
Jeez.
Right.
Is that
same
the
tenant.
Saratoga one?
Yeah, the Saratoga one. I've got the same tenant. They've been in there for almost 4 years now.
Yeah. Long time. Have you raised rents on them?
4.5 years. I've raised rents twice.
Okay,
but
that's good.
Mostly it was because of the HOA. And I even told them, I'm like, look, the HOA with this.
Yeah.
If I'm not making at least this much money, I told them how much money I'm making off them. I'm like, if I'm not, it's not worth it. I'm going to sell it. Yeah. And they obviously can't afford to buy a property.
Right.
So, right. Like I'm providing value.
So wait, how much are you renting it out for?
You're going to hate me because it's low.
Brother.
I'm renting it for $1,860.
Okay. That's not bad.
Yeah. $1,860. Yeah. And then rents an HOA. End up being about 1406 or something like that.
So you're like 450.
Yeah, 450, and it's probably not enough because I'm setting aside some for
you bought it for
repairing
floors. Was it 220?
237.
237. Okay, I was trying to remember. I know it was in the range of that.
And then a year later, I bought the second one for 367, almost exactly 50% more. Yeah, but I mean that was 2022, right? Yeah, like 21 to 22 was
a little different.
Crazy. And some of my neighbors, not that it's a bad thing. But some of them said they paid $410 for condos.
The highest one that we sold in that area was actually like $460. Wow. For a third floor. Yeah.
A third floor condo.
Yeah.
But I mean, the market was crazy.
The market was crazy because what was happening is interest rates were so low. And so it still penciled because you had 3% interest rates.
Or 2.875. Yeah, that's what I got on my first one.
Yeah, high twos and stuff. And so when you're looking at, that price versus the interest rate, it still made sense.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think because it's like, now we're in the 6s with interest rates. But like if we ever get down to like the 4s again, you'll see $500,000 condos.
Yeah.
Like, and you'll see that anyways in the future, just based off of a 4.5%, 5% appreciation. If you go 10 years from now, the condo's like 600.
Yeah.
650.
Oh, definitely. I mean, people that come here from California looking to buy a house and they're like, I literally have a guy that we do his home insurance in his Salt Lake City home.
Yeah.
And he business venture, some tech company wanted, and they're like, one of the requirements is you need to be in San Francisco within certain amount of miles or driving time from our office.
Yep.
So him and his wife moved to San Francisco. They're renting like a brick 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom built in the 60s. Not that that's old, but by Utah
like
standards,
600 square feet.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 900 square feet.
900.
And it's almost $8,000 a month for renting. $8,000.
Oh my gosh.
Downtown San Fran is the same story. People like that are used to those sort of prices come here and they're like,
this is
I can get a big, huge 5,000 square foot house and it's only $4,600 a month.
Yeah.
I'll take 3.
Half the rent. Yeah, exactly. They're like, this is a no brainer.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's fun. Anyways, let me do my little intro.
Okay,
obviously, this is all gonna be part of it, but welcome to Financial Ginger. I am Jacob, the insurance agent that picks up his phone. Today, I've got Parker Eads, the man, the myth, the legend. The guy that only has one good leg and one awesome leg. I don't know. That video you posted just the other day of you doing a 30-second house tour on one leg.
Yeah.
I watched that 3 times.
Really?
And I sent it to my wife. That was the funniest thing.
All right, I have to ask you, do you believe that I went over the banister?
No, obviously not.
Good. I have some people that have reached out and said, how did you flip over the banister and not break your back? And I was like, that's AI, just FYI.
It's because you didn't put the hashtag.
They were a little older, so like it made sense. They were a little different generation.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It was just so funny. I just started laughing because I was like, that's 100% AI.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anywho.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to ask one of the first questions that I was thinking about was what does it look like working with you? Just like brief overview. Like, why do people come to you?
Why do people come to me? Man,
to get rich.
I've been actually asking myself that for almost 6 years now.
That's a good question.
Man, you're making me like brag about myself essentially,
like it.
Which I don't love bragging about myself. The number one thing for me in a business transaction is customer service. I think if you have really good customer service, everything else will take care of it. You'll make money. You'll be able to do all the things that you need to help your business to grow. You'll get referrals. Like all those things will transpire if you just focus on the customer. And so that's kind of what I do, is I just try to roll out the red carpet for everybody. It doesn't matter who they are, where they came from, how I got the lead, you know, whether it was from like a referral or a phone call, like a random phone call or whatever it is. I just give everybody the exact same service. And I just try to make it A+, or as A+ as I can. Like, I'm a human, so like I have faults and you know, things that like I don't do perfectly. Yeah, you know, like I drop the ball, but I always try to make it right. I always try to do the best I can. And so people come to me, I think, because I just take care of them. I try to like basically hold hand in hand with them during the whole transaction. I'm not the type of guy that's like, cool, let's put you under contract on a house. I'll see you at the closing table. Yeah. Good luck, you know? Like I'm in it. Hey, let's talk to your lender. Hey, yeah, do you want a home inspection? Guess what? I'm the seller's agent. Technically, I shouldn't be like pro on you doing an inspection, but I'm like, sure, like let's do it. Let's make sure you feel comfortable with it. Yeah. Just everything. I try to attend the orientations, which is kind of like a final walkthrough with people. I attend the closings, like design appointments sometimes if they design their house. I don't know, because buying a house is super stressful. Yeah. Like you get butterflies and your stomach turns and you look at the payment and you're like, oh my gosh, like how am I going to afford this?
That first house I bought from you, I was super stressed. Yeah. Super stressed. I was like, how on earth? Why? I'm like, oh my gosh. And you got me to sign it like a contract to buy it almost a year before. And I was like, I don't even know if my income's going to hit. Yeah. Like, Jacob, you're going to do it. You got this. Like you're growing.
Belief. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that helped me. And then I signed for the second one before I even finished buying the first one. Yeah. Because you instilled that you can do this. You can buy the house.
Well, absolutely. Like you totally can.
You can be a landlord too. Buy two of them.
Anybody can do it. And the biggest thing I think with buying real estate is building wealth. Yeah. And so I grew up pretty in poverty, essentially. My parents did not make a lot of money. They had mountains of credit card debt, and we just, it was tough, man. Like we still had some things, but like if you really like looked under the rug with us,
there was some financial stress.
There was financial stress. Yeah. And so that, like, I didn't really realize that though until I got into my like late teens, early 20s. And then I'm like, holy crap, my parents were like struggling. Dad has 3 jobs, working 90 hours a week probably, or 80 something, just to put food on the table, make ends meet, and make the credit card payments and the interest, you know, all those things tying into one. And, you know, it was crazy.
Dad. He's a great guy.
No, they're great. They're awesome. But
just because someone's great doesn't mean they're not struggling.
No, for sure. My parents were financially illiterate. Yeah. And that's not to say anything like, I'm not trying to say anything bad about them. No. Because they're great people. Yeah. Like I don't know.
Some of the best people I know have 6 figures in credit card debt or student loans that
you just don't know. Like you just don't know what people like have.
And so be kind.
Yeah, exactly. For real. You never know what people are going through.
But real estate's a tool to build wealth.
But that's the thing. Yeah. It's funny because you go back, like I've mapped this out a couple different times, and I'm like, if my parents would have just bought 2 properties outside of the one that they had, right? Yeah. Just 2. That's it. That's all they would have had to do. I mean, they'd be sitting on $1.5 million of value
plus the cash flow.
Yeah. They'd probably be making somewhere to the tune of like $3,500 to $4,000 a month.
And that's enough.
And that's just like, just like money that's just coming in, but they don't have any retirement. I mean, a little small 401k and things like that, but they don't have money. And it's just sad. Cause like my dad's pushing 70 and I'm like, man, when are you retiring? Like, when are you going to stop working? He loves to work though, so maybe never.
And he loves to serve.
Yeah, he does, which is great. But I want to choose to work. Yeah, I don't want to be forced to work. Yep. You know, and the other thing too is I want to do things that I love to do, which I love people and I love like helping them. And so I'm in an industry where I feel like I fit in for the most part. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
my mentor Parker, also Parker, different Parker, but different Parker. Remember, I always talk about the two
good name,
Parkers.
good name.
The two
I think you called me once and you thought that you were calling him or something. Yeah.
I've always told my wife since we got married, because we got married right after I bought that first condo from you.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, the two people I look up to like the most are both named Parker.
That's hilarious.
Because both of you guys have built these empires, and both of you guys have done so much good for the people around you, and the goal is to do good.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, of course you're compensated for what you're doing.
Well, yeah.
But the point is to I went to a mastermind recently, and there's this guy named Akbar Sheikh, and he has a whole foundation called like it has like a G at the beginning, but it's like basically earn more, give more. But there's a different G for earn. It's like make more, give more, something like that.
Sure.
And the whole thing is like, I want you to make so much money that you can help people with it. Like you're going to make so much money. You're going to spend your time the way you want, which you want to spend time with people. You want to spend time doing cool things.
Exactly.
You know, but I also want like you to make so much money that you're going to help, you know, this foundation that I've got where I'm helping, you know, kids with cleft palates in Africa and hiring doctors specifically to do, not just donate. Like I have an organization that does it. So I know what's happening. You know, I know the money's being used. I want you to spend so much money that you're going to go, you know, help people in your community and volunteer your time at food banks and all. I'm like, who doesn't want to do that? Right? Who doesn't want to be the guy that's helping people out? And I think just real estate and what you do is just great for that.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Just try to do you try to do the best. And so, yeah, going back to the transaction,
Two
like
properties.
with people. Yeah. 2. Yeah. You bought 2. And so, but yeah, that's all they had to do is buy 2.
I do.
Like, which is crazy to think. And so you're like, okay, if they would have done that, I mean, so all I need to do then, if the same math for the next, 30 years. I only need to buy 2 properties as well, technically. And then I would be in a position where like you can live. Like I wouldn't say that you're going to be like super well off. Like I think that you'll get to be a better spot with retirement though. You know, like retirement right now, people need like $2 to $3 million to be able to sustainably live in retirement.
Yeah.
What's that number going to be when we're old?
Yeah, in 30 years.
In 30 years, what is it? I think it's 8
or 25.
10,
25 years?
25, yeah. You're making my age show, is what you're saying. All right. Yeah, 8 to 10 million, I think.
Yeah.
Or more.
But also with inflation, if you buy real estate, it's going to naturally inflate. I mean, people thought
it will.
30 years. I was talking to my dad. So they moved here to Utah in 1994 when I was born. And then they moved in 1998 to Vineyard. Okay, they were in Salt Lake City.
Oh, there was nothing in Vineyard.
Yeah. Oh, it was there was that flood in the 80s. 5
houses.
There was that flood in the 80s, and so there was one neighborhood. Yeah. I mean, technically, it was Orem. People will get upset if I call it Vineyard, but I thought it was Vineyard growing up, and it was in Vineyard's zip code, and it was on the west side of the freeway. And technically, my backyard was the Vineyard line, but we were technically in Orem. But anyways, I call it Vineyard. My wife gets upset that I do that. But there was those floods in the 80s that destroyed a lot of property, and there was peat moss and all that. So there was like 130 some odd houses, and then they built the golf course and all that, in the 2000s. But at least from those houses that were rebuilt in the late 80s, early 90s, there was like 130 houses. So
it's like nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was 5 minutes from a Walmart, 5 minutes from UVU, but tiny little community.
Yeah.
My parents paid $135,000
incredible
for that house.
Incredible.
$135,000, and it was 4 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms. And of course they did add on to the property. So now it's like 5 bedrooms and 3 full bathrooms and tons of like 3 huge living spaces and a sewing room.
Yeah, but now how much is that house going to sell for?
It's probably worth $675,000, if not more.
Yeah.
And they just redid the sidings. They've got solar panels on the roof. So it's like,
incredible.
Think about it. Just buying a house 30 years ago and sitting on it, that thing has gone up 6x in value.
Which is awesome. But one thing that I want to emphasize, though, is the house that you live in is an investment to a point. It's not an investment that's going to produce income for you.
Correct, because they have to live somewhere.
You have to live somewhere.
That's why the 2 extra
unless you do like a reverse mortgage, which it's kind of this is kind of sidetracking, but I think reverse mortgages here in the next like 15, 20 years
really common.
Are going to be pretty common because everybody's going to have so much equity in their homes, but they're going to have no income because Social Security is going to be gone.
Yeah. Or it's going to be cut. Like I saw this numbers of like
whatever.
They'll have the way it's written, they have to cut it to what the previous year's income is. So if there's only 60% funding, everyone's only getting 60%.
Yeah, but if the cost of living is higher,
40%.
It'll be like,
it's basically nothing.
Yeah. It's like, okay, my cost of living per month is $5,000 and they give you $500. Like you still have to bridge $4,500.
And even if you were entitled to $1,200, okay, cool. You still got $500. Or even if you got the full $1,200, that's still not enough.
Exactly. So that's the thing that I want to emphasize too, because either one, you're going to hand your property over to a mortgage company so that way you have income so you can live off of that. Or two, you got to buy rental properties.
Yes.
In order to be able to sustain a lifestyle and have retirement, you know, alongside 401ks and all those things. I think it's good to diversify. I don't think you should put all your eggs into real estate. I don't think you should put all your eggs into stocks. I don't think you should put all your eggs into gold. And I don't think you should put all your eggs, definitely not all your eggs, in crypto.
Yeah.
So I think that for me, and everybody has, this is not investing advice, but for me, it's like 40% real estate. It's like 20 to 30% stocks. It's like 10 to 20% of like precious metals, things like that.
Oh, cool.
And then I'm like less than 10% crypto.
See, I don't have precious metals.
And you don't need to do all those things.
That's your philosophy.
That's my philosophy. That's what I kind of go off of. And then you have cash, but cash is such it's such a
cash is just an emergency fund.
That's
why I tell people, I'm like, the cash is 6 months of your expenses.
That's it. If you have more than 6 months, you're wasting your money.
Yeah.
Straight up, you're wasting it. And the other thing too, the cash shouldn't be at home. It should be in an account that at least
like
makes
a high yield savings account.
High yield savings. Yeah. You should be making 4%, which, you know, sure, you're barely keeping up with inflation.
But it's better than sitting in your credit. I mean, I'm in a credit union and the money that's sitting there is like 0.1.
0.1.
Yeah. 0.093. Like
you're like bad. You're like, it's costing you guys more money to try to send me this money than it is like me actually making money.
Exactly. But no, that's a great philosophy because, it does vary from person to person, right? But I found that the two mindsets that you have to have with real estate that work is either house hacking, right? Buy a place like I did and then move to the next one and keep it. And that keeps your initial cost down. So if you're not able to, because most people, if you're buying a real estate, you need 20% down.
If you're trying
25, or sometimes there's weird MacU has some programs where you can get as low as 10%, but there's specifics. But it's hard to cash flow if you're doing a 10% down.
Correct.
So the one way to do it is to house hack, where you're putting down, and then you're able to keep the lower interest rate you get as a home buyer, because interest rates are higher if you're buying as a rental property.
Yeah.
So if you move, so that's one way to do it. That's how I've done it for 2 properties. And correct me where I'm wrong, or improve on this. The second way that I've seen is how my older brother did it, and he doesn't like being invested in real estate. Like he's stressed with being a landlord. And so you can either hire a company to do it. There's great.
Manager.
In fact, I'm going to be interviewing a property manager in the next week or two. Great company. People I love, Peaceful Property Management. They're awesome.
Cool.
Kids I grew up with too, and they're awesome people. Or you can use it as use the appreciation for the next. So like they bought a property here in Utah in 2017. Again, a 5-bedroom, 2.5-bath house. And then they sold it for hundreds of thousands of dollars of profit. And they rolled that into their property in Texas. And then he just called me like a week and a half ago. And he's like, I can pay off my house in Maine if I sell my property. So he's going to be in his mid 30s and
no debt.
Pretty
sweet.
And so he's like, so that's the other way. He's like, okay, I'm using the appreciation to roll to the next property to pay off them quicker, because the properties he bought were expensive and the one he has now is relative, but it's 27 acres. It's a farm. That's what they want.
Sure,
but owning that outright in mid 30s, just by using your other real estate you purchased, because they held on to it. They moved and kept it. They had tenants. They hated having tenants. They didn't like dealing with it, but fine. Okay. Get a property manager or use it in some way to, okay, well, if you've paid off your home at 35, okay, now you've got more cash flow that you can invest into your 401k.
You should invest in you should stop.
You need to do something.
You need to do something, and you have to do it consistently, because I feel like if you like, the golden years are 20s and 30s.
Yep.
Those are the biggest like investing years of your life. Once you get into your 40s and 50s, you need to be deleveraging is what you need to be doing. That's when you pay off stuff in cash and you have not as much debt and things like that. When you're younger, you need to be growing. So the only way to grow is to leverage, to borrow somebody else's money, so that way you can like make money on that. Over, because then time's your friend. The older you get, time is your enemy, essentially. I guess time is technically your enemy the whole time, but you have more
It's a
time.
factor.
Yeah, it's a factor. When you're younger, you know, you just have a lot more of that, you know?
Yeah.
So anywho.
No, totally
Yeah.
makes sense.
Investing's crazy though. Like it's just, my thing is, so everybody keep learning. That's the biggest thing that I try to do every single year is I'm like, I want to learn something new about investing this year. There is always knowledge out there, more and more and more. Every single year, I'm learning more and more. For instance, I have an investor right now. He put in an offer last night for 5 townhomes.
Wow.
Awesome. And he's paying cash for all of them, which is insanity. Yeah. 1.7. Oh no, sorry. He was going to buy 4. He decided to buy 5. So 1.72 was what we were trying to get for the 4. I'm trying to remember the total number. Probably a little over 2 million, probably 2.1, 2.2 million dollars. Just here you go.
Buy them outright.
The crazy thing about it is he doesn't have $2.2 million in the bank. He's borrowing from his stock portfolio.
Oh.
Is what he's doing.
Okay. Is he like leveraging it? Like he's not selling the stocks.
No. He's still letting it do its thing. Yeah, not selling it. The reason why he's doing it though is because he has a very massive tax bill. He's got he realized gains just because of a change of administration. They had to change the strategy, or his, I guess his financial analyst or whatever you want to call it, financial planner, basically said, hey, we probably should sell these stocks and move it over to these. But when you do that, you have a capital gain event that happens. So he's got $500,000 that he has to pay taxes on because of all this. And he claims income on it too. So he still gets, you know, dividends and all those things off of that stuff. But paying taxes on $500,000, you're paying 200 at least, you know, 200,000. So I was like, okay, so you can pay $200,000. You don't have 200 though. So you got to sell more stock in order to be able to pay the 200, which if you're selling more stock, you're still gonna have to pay taxes on that capital gain as well. And so I'm like, why don't you leverage, which I didn't know this. I've learned this in the past, probably like 3 to 6 months, that you can leverage against stocks, your stock portfolio, and borrow that money and then invest it. Wow. Now you got to pay, there's an interest payment, right? You know, 6% or whatever it is. But
that's better than a $200,000 tax bill.
$200. Yeah. And it'd be more than that because he has to pull out 200,000. So he has another $50,000 to $70,000 tax bill on top of that for the next year. So really it's like $250,000 in 2 years that he has to pay taxes. Wow. Or he could buy real estate, 5 units. He only needs 4, but he's roping his dad into the deal, to help him out. Because there's a loophole. Well, it's not really a loophole. Anybody can do this.
It's just a tax thing.
Yeah, it's a tax thing. Cost segregation, essentially. You're just hyper depreciating the asset, taking everything in year 1. As long as you claim yourself as a real estate professional, which if you're managing the properties yourself, you're a real estate professional, 100%.
Would that count if I'm managing my 2 properties?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I do all of it.
Yeah. All you have to do is spend 750 hours a year. It equates to about 2 hours a day, 2.5.
Gotcha.
But this is a real estate, talking to a realtor.
True.
That's a real estate activity.
Okay.
And looking on Zillow at houses, that's a real estate activity. Collecting rents, writing leases, showing properties.
Okay.
Going and visiting the property. The time that you leave your house and you're driving to go to the property and you're trying to look at something. Interesting. And then you're driving back to your, oops, I hit the mic.
You're good.
You're driving back to to your house. That whole time, which for you, it's going to take you 30 minutes to get to your property from Spanish Fork.
Spanish Fork.
And then you got to spend whatever time you're going to spend while you're there, 20, 30 minutes or whatever, for whatever you're doing.
So I actually do an annual, I try to check the properties 2 or 3 times a year. But I do an annual where I go, I actually pump the water heaters. I know how to do it and it's fine. And I use it as an opportunity to talk to the tenants, get to know them. Perfect. And then also do an inspection, just check the condition.
There you go.
But yeah, that's usually about 90 minutes to flush the water system.
So there you go. You basically got your day covered. So everybody thinks it's really hard to get that many hours, but in reality, it's not. And also, like, if you're married, it helps because you can have your spouse that's not working, or if one of you is not working, like, be the real estate professional declared on your taxes. So anyways, this is check with your CPA on all these things.
Your CPA.
I am not a CPA. I am not I'm not giving investment advice. So I just got to caveat
These are just
that.
cool things you've
There's little
done.
things, yeah, but always go and learn. Because going back to the stock portfolio, he borrows that money. He has zero taxable liability now. Now he's got 4 assets that are going to grow on top of it, the cash flow, because he's putting down 30% on every single one.
Wow.
And so he's cash flowing. It covers the debt payment on the stock, and he still makes a little bit of cash flow on the side, which is nice. So it's like, cool.
Cash flow and appreciation.
Don't need to pay, $250,000 in taxes. I get assets that are going to appreciate over here. Plus I get to keep my stock portfolio intact. I don't have to sell anything, and I get to grow my wealth.
Yeah. And that's what I love, connecting with real estate professionals that do that sort of stuff. Because like I have a guy who he's a realtor and buys and sells properties, but he also does fix and flips every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you even know this, but if you have the type of insurance you need for a rental property versus a fix and flip, a vacant home is totally different.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, most insurance contracts, if you sign them, they've got stipulations like if this home is unoccupied, and they're like, well, I visit it every day to do paint or to do floor, like that doesn't count as being occupied.
No.
Right? If someone's not living in the property, some do 30 days, some do 60 days, and it's clear to the insurance company by the condition at the time of a claim, you'll have no coverage.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So literally check your contracts. Most will say 30, some say 60, some say 45. But yeah, it's if the property is not occupied, make sure you've got a vacant property, or make sure your agent knows, right? So it's big to be able to just text your agent what you're doing.
Yeah.
I like that you text me. It's nice.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if you've got 8 or 9 properties, or you've got 4 plexes or whatnot, knowing how they're occupied and how they're being used or what you're going to do with them changes. And a lot of investors hate paying for those vacant properties because they're hella expensive compared to normal. Like a fix and flip short term, most companies have a 25% minimum guaranteed premium. So if you have a year policy that's $4,000 or $5,000, where if it was occupied, it might only be $1,800.
Dang.
But 25% of that is minimum. So if you fix and flip it and it only takes you 2 months, you still have to pay
25%,
25% of that
4,000. Yeah, 3 months worth of premium.
Minimum.
Yeah.
So it's annoying, but it's like also, okay, yeah, if it took you 2 months to flip that and there was a fire and the insurance company looks and is like, no one's living here, you might have zero coverage.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, is it worth that? You're going to pay for the insurance anyways. Might as well be properly covered.
Yeah.
And that's something that I find all the time.
Interesting. See, I didn't know that either.
Or if you have a property that's going to be vacant for a long time. Like I have a friend who has a property that's been sitting on the market for like a year. It's everyone's second favorite home.
Yeah.
He's like, everyone that looks at it and then they're like, oh, well, the location, I'd rather live here. And we found a property, or, oh, the price is slightly above what I wanted, and I found something that's slightly cheaper, and and I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's right.
Anyway, so it's vacant. And I'm like, you got to change the insurance on it to make sure you're properly
that's
covered.
smart. That's why, again, like we left school, right? We all graduated. Some of us graduated from college, all great. The learning doesn't stop. If the learning stops, the progression stops. And so you have to continually learn. And financial literacy, in my opinion, should be at the top of the list, or one of the top in the list. And if you're not, so like for instance, that insurance thing, I had no idea that you should do that. Now I know. So if I ever decide to do a vacant home or whatever, I'm like, I'm calling Jacob and we're switching the policy because I want to be covered. Because the one thing, there's 2 things that kill wealth the most. One is taxes, and the second one is not properly like protecting your assets. Yeah. And so, because you have
life insurance, health insurance,
you have one event
insurance
that can just like screw your wealth up, essentially. And so you got to make sure that you do both of those things, and then just continually every year you got to be learning something new. What am I going to learn this year that's new about financial literacy? Well,
I know you keep on saying this. Continually be learning.
Yes.
Other Parker, he's always telling me the secret to success is continuous action plus continuous learning. Yes. So you got to be learning new things and
that's true.
Yeah,
you can't just be book smart.
But that's true. It's assumed in what you said.
It is assumed. In my mind, I'm like, I'm learning something. I'm taking action. I'm not like, oh, that's a cool thing to learn.
It's so obvious. Yeah, you don't even need to say it.
Just because you're book smart doesn't mean if you're not taking action, then
I'm street smart.
No one cares.
It means I know what street I live on. But I like what you said. It only takes one event. There's something I like to ask everyone when they come on, and I think I texted you about this before. So if not, it's a curveball. What is one big financial mistake you've made, and what did you learn from it?
So in 2015, I bought my first house. So,
Nice.
so 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Yeah. Crazy. That's a long time. I bought a duplex and, yes, your jaw's going to drop the floor on the price, $235,000. So yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
for a
worth
duplex.
way more than that now. So it was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It was like 700 square feet on each side. At the time, it's interesting because like the same things that you're thinking about today on like, oh, I'm barely breaking even. Oh, I'm barely making any cash flow. That same thing was happening back then too, even at $235,000.
Because rents were way lower 10 years ago too.
Exactly. I was renting the 2-bed, 1 bath out for $700, and that was like, dude,
That was top dollar.
That was top dollar. My payment on it though was like $1,350. So I rented out one side and then I lived in the other. So I paid $650. At the time though, I'm like, oh
That's
my gosh,
high.
I'm paying $650. But then I was like, well, if I rent out both sides, I'm making $50 a month. This sucks. But I owner occupied it. So I have, private mortgage insurance and all those things. Anyway, so the next year I went and bought another house. Rents went up. They went to like 800. And I actually renovated one of the sides to match the other. Because the side that I lived in, when it was sold, it was vacant and it was renovated. It was nice. So when I vacated the tenant on the other side, I renovated it real quick, made it nice, raised my rents, which was nice. So then when I moved out, each side was renting out for like, I think $800 or something like that. So I was making a couple $100 a month, which was nice, at the time. And then I went and bought another property. And so, and that was in 2016. Then I bought a 5-bedroom house. Yes, it was cheap as hell. $255,000.
Oh my gosh.
For, I think it was like 2,600 square feet, a couple blocks north of UVU.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
Awesome house. Yeah, I had a yard, all that kind of stuff. It was like on a quarter acre or a little less than. I think.
Wow.
I think it was
I
like
bet that
0.20.
property is over 600,000.
Yeah,
now.
it's 600,000 now.
Oh my
So here's
gosh.
the mistake. You ready? So in 2017, there was a lot of hype and a lot of things in the media saying, "Oh my gosh, the market's gonna crash! Oh no!" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta get out!
Oh no!
Like I gotta sell because if I don't sell, I'm gonna lose everything, and I just need to get out." So I sold both those properties. Got completely out of real estate, didn't own anything essentially.
Wow.
And then
I'm sure you made some money.
I made some money. Yeah.
But-
I think I made like 25 grand. So 10% on the first property. Well, a little over 10%, whatever that, 12 or 13% on the duplex. And then on single family, I think I made 30. So
Yeah.
anyways, I made some money.
But if you still had it today,
Yeah. But in
that
total,
would
I
be
would have
300,000 or
made
400,000.
a per unit. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd be at least that. Yeah. Cause the duplex is probably 550 because both those sides now are renting out for $1,600.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so it's crazy because then you think, man, 10 years, I would have been making what is it, 14, like $1,500-$1,600 a month in cash flow in that duplex, and just that one, and then per month,
And the other one
then
would've been too.
and I would have what, $300,000 of equity.
Wow.
And then the second one, that one actually was the better of the two. That one, freaking heck. Because that one, the payment was about the same. It was about $1,400 a month, I think. Or it was 13 or something like that. Well, I had at the time people thought it was high interest rate. I had like a 3.9 on it or 3.8. And so I'm like, I could have refinanced those in the twos and
man,
like,
it would have been even better
leveraged,
at that
and I
point.
could have done a lot of things, which would have been nice.
Wow.
But yeah, I would have made like $300,000 in equity. And then that one, I think, because I was renting it room by room to students, I think I'd be making like $2,000 a month.
Wow.
So from just 2 properties, I'd be making $3,500 a month cash flow and have over $500,000 of equity.
In equity. See,
But I sold it
you sold it.
and I didn't stay in the market. So that's my biggest thing now. I only sell properties if I can duplicate.
Yes.
That's
do you do 1031s? When
Yeah,
you do
1031
those?
exchange. And here's the other thing too.
To avoid the taxes.
Well, yeah. So you can go pull a home equity line of credit, a HELOC on an investment property.
Yep.
So like, for instance, and this is I guess a side note, whatever. I had a condo in Vineyard. I bought it about the same time you bought your condo in Saratoga. And I sold it in 2022 because at the time I was like, oh, I can get 2 townhomes out of this. Cause I had it increased so much in value that I made 140 grand.
Wow.
Which was awesome. I was like, wow, this is great. So I was like, well, I can go use that 10% down MACU program, and townhomes are, 450 or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I just need 45 grand. So that's 90. And then I wanted to finish basements so I could improve the rental value and all that kind of stuff. Wow. But what I did is instead of trying to 1031 into 2 properties, I only 1031 my condo into 1, but I still bought the other one because I did it through a HELOC. You're not taxed on debt. So I went and I got the HELOC. It was $75,000 and I just maxed out the HELOC like a month before I closed.
Wow.
You should do it more like 2 or 3 months. Let the money season. I learned that too. Like when you pull out the money, if you're selling, you need it to be like 2 or 3 months. I had to extend my closing date because of that. So, on the condo. Yeah. Lessons learned. So anyways, so then I pulled out 75 grand. 75 grand is just chilling in my bank account. Well, 45 grand of that's going to a down payment. And then the other 30 grand is going to finish the basement. So I was able to buy a new townhome with that debt. And then the other 75 grand, I just plugged it into the other townhome. And then I had to come up with a little bit of money. I'm a real estate agent though, so I get commissions. So I just use my commissions essentially to pay for the other basement. Gotcha. So essentially what I did is I took 1 condo and I made 2 townhomes.
2 townhomes with finished basements.
With finished basements, and I made the same amount of cash flow. I was making like $600 a month off of the condo,
and now
roughly.
It's like 300 per.
300.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is
there's obviously more risk, but you're younger. You can leverage more risk because then, you've got a bigger time horizon.
Exactly, yeah. And the thing that was nice about that.
Now you've got 2 properties that are growing in value.
Now I got 2 properties that are growing.
And 2 that'll go up when the rent goes up.
Exactly. And rents have gone up too. So I'm now making $500, I think, is what I'm making.
See, and I think my first condo, I need to consider something like that because my first condo, the one that I've had tenants in there for forever, I mean, I paid like $237. I think I did a refinance and took a little bit of cash out, which was a bad idea, but whatever. I lived in, that was my big mistake. That was really big. Well, my other big mistake was choosing a college where I got a half tuition scholarship instead of the full tuition scholarship, but that's another thing. Yeah. Because I'm like, I've got probably about $90,000 of equity in that place.
It's awesome.
It's like, is that, I mean, I don't know, depends what we should talk after this and see if it's
you're
even
close.
worth considering.
You're close. You mean you'd probably still have to bring some more money to the table, but you got to think like you're investing into more properties. And so, but if you're leveraging 1 to pay for, at least for down payments for 2,
that's totally worth it. That's what I want to do.
The other reason why I did that is because
and then I don't have to move and my wife gets mad at me again.
There you go. Yeah. You don't have to do that. I can't do that anymore. My wife won't let us move. So I have to find ways to do that. But the cost segregation, so going back to that, that was another reason why is because I got from both of those properties about $100,000 of write-off per property. So I was able to write off $200,000 of income in depreciation. Don't pay taxes on it. Yeah. But it still counts as income to when you're trying to qualify for loans. So a lender, they look at depreciation as, if it's done correctly, they look at depreciation as, that's income actually. So even though I didn't pay taxes on 200 grand, the lender still thought I made 200 grand.
I see.
Which was great. All just by buying 2 townhomes. Yeah. So then it helped me so I could buy more in the next year and then the next year. So, I mean, you're kind of like golden handcuffing yourself to real estate a little bit, but like you're trying to keep as much wealth as you can. Cause like I said in the beginning, 2 biggest things. The first one is taxes. Paying taxes, you're never seeing that money back again. So try to reduce that as much as possible.
And real estate can help.
Yeah. Cause then you're just you could either pay Uncle Sam and never see it again, or you can take that same money and plug it into real estate and you get to see it in retirement. I mean, for me, I'm picking this one all day long. I'm never doing this one. Or like the least.
We love our country. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's, but.
Yeah. And so, I mean.
I'd rather render to myself using Caesar's rules.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So anywho, that was. So I've learned since then from the biggest mistake of selling and getting completely out that you don't just sell and get out, you sell and duplicate. And then, and that's pretty much what
that's cool. Cause that's the problem that I'm at. That's actually where I'm at. Cause I bought the 2 properties using, I bought a 3rd property that I'm living in now. And it's just like, now what? Because I'm not gonna be able to move again for a while. It's like, how can I use these as leverage? So that would be useful to talk about and see if there's an opportunity there. Cause I love those tenants, but
don't be married to your tenants.
You're not married to your tenants.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's, you're married to your wife and you're married to building wealth for your family. And that's the most important.
And providing value as a good landlord. Cause I let people have pets, which most landlords won't let you do.
There you go.
I'm flexible in how people can pay me. Like I have one couple that they pay me using Cash App. And I have another couple that they use Zillow's online platform to pay me, and it works out well for them. Where most landlords don't, they've got a fixed way, or if they want to use a credit card, they have to pay an extra fee or whatnot.
Fees,
it's like there's nothing. I mean, I think the Zillow one charges them a fee, but Cash App they can pay me however they want, right?
Yeah.
So as a landlord, you're also providing value to people, whether it's your rents are a little bit lower than a big company, or you're easier to get a hold of if there's a problem, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
People like landlords that are real people, and not a big corporation. Not that there's a problem with that.
For sure. Yeah. But yeah, if there's some human
don't
element.
feel like a bad person for being a landlord, because you're not. You're awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're helping yourself and others.
But also like, so my dad, he's a landlord right now, only because I kind of like push them into it. Yeah. So he has a condo, but the tenant, I guess it's kind of an interesting situation, but basically she left her husband, and then she rented the condo that my dad and I co-owned together. And then she ended up getting back with that husband, but they had their own place. So she wants to be let out of her lease. And I'm like, you can sell it to somebody if you want, like find a qualified tenant. I'm fine with that. Or you can fulfill the whole rest of the lease. Yep. And my dad's like, well, why don't we just let her out of it? And I'm like, okay. Because
if it takes 2 months for us to find another tenant, that's if your mortgage is, I'm like, that's $3,000 out of your pocket or whatever that equivalent is.
Exactly.
It's like, is it worth $3,000?
So you got to set some guidelines, some parameters of like, hey, this is the contract. I'm providing what I said I would for you, and you're providing what you said for me. And that's how the contract keeps us honest. Yep. And you just follow the contract. Same with late fees though. Like if a tenant is late, you charge the fee.
They're more than 3 days late.
Even if they're saying, oh my gosh, it was a hard month and this and that and the other.
It's like, that's why there's a late fee.
Just say,
you the option to pay late.
Yeah, if you want to pay late, yeah, it's totally fine. Just pay the late fee. I promise you, if you do it the first time, like where you make them pay the late fee, they will never be late again.
Yeah.
But I promise you, if you do not collect the late fee and make the late fee substantial, my late fee is $100. Like I make it so it stings enough.
Yeah, mine's like 75.
So there you go. Yeah. I make it so it's like, that's the first day. Every day after that, $25 a day.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, if you're late on day 1, it's 100. On day 2, it's 125. On day 3, it's 150. And it just keeps going until the 12th day. And then that's eviction. I've never gotten to that point though.
Yeah.
Which is great. Knock on wood. But if you just say, oh yeah, no worries. If you give them an inch, they're going to go a mile.
Yep.
And what will happen is then there will be an excuse the next month and the next month and the next month and the next month. And you won't, and eventually they'll take so much advantage that they could end up not even paying you rent.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen to some landlords, that some people that I've sold and helped them and told them, hey, make sure you do these things, and they don't follow the guidelines. And then they say, oh yeah, my tenant hasn't paid me rent for 30 days.
Oh.
And I'm like, why are they not evicted? And they're like, well, they had this thing happen and this and that and the other. And I'm like,
you're never going to see that money.
Yeah. And now you're like,
someone at the
how are you going to get them out too? You know, because now you got to start the eviction process and like,
there's a whole process.
There's a whole thing with that. And so it's like, if you just nip it in the butt right at the begin with, and you just like, this is the
qualify your tenants. That's another thing too.
That too. Yeah.
Get a company that's going to help you, or do vetting.
Yeah. Credit check, background,
all that. Skip checks, all that stuff. There's tools to help with that.
Yeah.
Get a professional.
Anywho, I got time for one more question.
Yeah. No, I know time's out. No, let's just wrap it up. Okay. So someone's enjoyed this. They're like, wow, I want to talk to Parker about how to buy 5 properties, or how to turn my rental property that I've got a ton of equity into 2 properties, or whatever it is. Yeah. How can someone find you?
So Instagram, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I mean, I do
funny videos.
I do funny videos, one a week. So, you know,
they're great, man.
Gives you a little laugh once a week. I actually have people that reach out to me and they're always like, oh, come here, honey, Parker's new video's on.
Yeah. What's your handle on Instagram?
So it's just at parker.eads.
Parker.eads.
EADS. Yeah. Or you can call me at my phone number. Obviously, I text, call. That's great. Phone number is just 801-717-0731. So
717-0731.
Yeah, 0731. Yeah.
801 area code.
801. Yep.
Cool.
So yeah, you can just text, call, whatever works best for you. I try to just get back to you, just like Jacob. That's the one thing that I actually learned from Jacob. I try to learn something from everybody. Yes, I learned from you to get back to people quickly.
It makes a world
and if you do, like, it just escalates like crazy. And here's the thing, like, you're gonna be glued to your phone, which kind of sucks, but you can still shut it off during, after business hours and stuff like that. But during business hours, like, be present and just like, just turn and burn, or not turn and burn, but like just, I don't know.
Go, do it.
Just go, just do it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the phrase
not hard.
would be.
Just follow with people and be there. Like that's the reason I get so much business is people will call me and they're like, hey, I've been reaching out to my previous agent for 3 months. I'm already with carrier A, carrier B, I'm already with Bear River. I'm already with Progressive. I like my company. I just need an agent. I'm like, oh, there's an easy form. You sign a form, move to my office. I now service your policy. You have the same coverage, same price, but you got an agent that's going to answer the phone. And I have people that do that. I have people that have like 8 or 9 rental properties and they're like, I haven't got my agent. I sold a home. They haven't gotten back to me in 3 weeks.
Crazy.
I'm like, it's so easy. Just pick up the phone and answer
just talk
it.
to
just
people.
respond
Just
to a text.
communicate.
And that's going to make you so much money. It's ridiculous.
No, it's incredible. Yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
you can totally reach me at any time. I'm available, and I'll provide as much value as I can. So
it's the goal. Okay. Well, cool. We got the action. We got the, I haven't done this. I've been bad about this, but call to action. So if you're watching this, leave a comment, ask Parker a question, ask me a question. I'll send them to Parker if there's something there, right? Like what is something that maybe didn't make sense, or a question you had about your investing journey, or, how to buy your first home, or how to get 3 rental properties if you've already got one that's got a lot of, whatever it is. Like if you have questions, leave them in the comments, like, subscribe, follow, find Parker.Eads on Instagram. Jacob Insures Utah is my Instagram handle. We're happy to help, happy to serve.
Love it.
That's what we love doing.
Thanks for having me, Jacob. Appreciate you.
Thanks for being on.
Okay.
So party.